What's going on, y'all? It's your girl Jasmine, aka Jazz Work from Home. Welcome to the live. We got another live juicy topic, okay? Where I just kind of help you to think. I kind of force you to use your brain, you know, if you want to, because sometimes we don't want to, and we don't have to force people to do things that they don't want to do. So the topic is, can a woman have it all? And right here, you see in the background is my character, Sally. Sally Nickel, that's her name. Sally Nickel is a successful entrepreneur, successful woman doing her thing. And the name of the short story is called Sally Doesn't Want to Trade Anymore. Okay. Sally is in the trading technology business where she helps other people learn how to trade. She's built a successful team. A little bit about the ebook or whatever the story, and she ends up going from being a person that was not doing well financially, just living everyday life, not knowing her full potential. She meets somebody that sees the potential in her. How many of us have met someone that has seen the potential in us, whether we saw it in ourselves or we didn't? They immediately saw it in us, and they wanted to bring it out of us. They wanted to show it to us. So Sally meets someone, a mentor, a friend, someone that sees her full potential. They see that she's not living life to the fullest, and they just, with a little bit of guidance and a little bit of help and coaching along the way, they help her, take her from that college student, because she starts off as a college student, right? So I'm saying it like y'all actually was reading the story, right? She started off as a college student. She was broke. She was going through it. And she meets someone who basically takes her under the wing, shows her what's possible, and she has to make that choice of whether or not she really wants to have it all. So my question is, can a woman have it all, right? And if you're interested in the ebook, go to my Instagram, click the link in the bio, get you a copy. It's a really good story, especially for women, which we're going to be talking about in this live, in this video, in this series. Going to do a little mini series of mini videos, just talking about women, how they can be successful, and sometimes how we are forced in society. In this society, they try to force us to choose between loving a man or giving up our dreams. And it's like, does a woman really have to decide one? Does she have to really just pick one, or can she pick both? Can she really have it all? Can she have a husband if that's what she wants? Can she have a man if that's what she wants? Can she have a successful career, whether she has a 9 to 5 and she climbs the corporate ladder, or she wants to get into entrepreneurship and do her own thing, have her own business, have cars, real estate, assets, diamonds, handbags, Chanel, designer, you name it, her hair done all the time. Whether she wants to be a wife or a mother, can a woman really have everything that she wants, or does she have to choose certain things, or she can only have one of those things that I just named? And in this society, I'm not gonna lie to y'all, they try to make us feel like, as women, that you have to choose. You have to choose. You have to choose everything but yourself. You have to choose everything but yourself. I'm going to say that again. You have to choose everything but yourself. And when the moment you decide that you want to choose you want to make yourself happy, okay, not without being conniving or manipulative, okay, because I'm not on here telling women to be conniving, manipulative, malevolent, evil, spiteful. We're not talking about that, okay? Because you can get what you want without trying to manipulate a man or trying to manipulate anybody, period, okay? And we're going to talk about that a little later on, okay? But anyway, the moment you decide to choose you and do what makes you happy, you got people, you got the podcast bros, the pick me shas, because there's some women, they are not they are not a friend to the cause, where we are empowering other women, okay? And we're not talking about empowering women through being sexual and trashy and doing stuff that's not morally correct, or scamming, or, like I said, manipulative. We're not talking about that type of female empowerment. That's not female empowerment. That's going to land you somewhere in a graveyard or in the prison yard. You better choose carefully of who you are out here listening to, okay? But as soon as you start to choose yourself, You want to choose what makes you happy? They're going to call you a bitch. They're going to call you a hoe. They're going to call you a slut. Everything but a child of God. Everything but what you really are, a star. And I'm going to tell y'all something. Anybody that's trying to get you to choose between your happiness and their happiness, you really have to start questioning things. And I know because I'm a woman and I'm a lover's girl. When you meet a person, when you meet a man and you're into him and you feel like you have a connection with him, you let your guard down. Okay. Some of us let our guard down a little too fast. Okay. Some of us, we don't pay attention to the warning signs and the red flags that are right there. And it starts off as little things like, oh, you're beautiful, but you would be a little bit prettier to me if you stop pursuing your goals. And it's like, first it's like, I don't know, okay. Where did that come from? And then over time, as you don't check it, you don't say, wait a minute, I'm beautiful if I stop pursuing my goals. You don't check it. Over time, it becomes, oh, I really like that you're trying to get promoted into that managerial position at work, but it would be sexier if you just, stayed home with me and, you just stayed in the role that you're at and you don't try to go and achieve higher success because that means you're not going to have time for me. Like you barely have time for me. Like you do love me, right? I am your man, right? Like, someone like that wants to try to get you. They want to try to get you to choose between your happiness and your goals just to satisfy them. Is not somebody that you want to be associated with. And essentially in this ebook behind me, what I wrote about, this is what happens to Sally, right? Sally is the woman. She's a representation of women in our society. And I've done it before too. I'm not making fun of anybody. I'm not making fun of anybody. She is a representation of what happens when you allow a man, the wrong type of man, because I don't believe all men are bad, okay? It just depends on the type of man that you yourself are dating. You yourself have come across. You have decided that you're going to put your time and energy into, okay? We got to take accountability sometimes. We got to take accountability. I know that sucks, but we have to take accountability for what we allow. She represents women that come across the wrong man, the man that sees your potential. He sees what you can become. He sees what you are. And he doesn't like that. He's in competition with you. He doesn't even like himself. So in order for him to feel good about himself, he has to nitpick with you, pick you off, take you down a level, humble you. Okay. And this is what happens to Sally. Okay. She's a successful entrepreneur. She did all this work. She had to do the work to get to where she is. But in the book, in the story, she allows someone to come along and just tear down everything that she's worked for and built. And I'm telling y'all, ladies, as a woman myself, no man that really cares about you, that really loves you, is going to sit there and make you decide, well, it's your dream to become a flight attendant, but I don't want you to fly. I don't want you to travel. You need to decide whether or not you're going to choose me, which is the obvious choice, or are you going to choose your career with becoming a flight attendant? And so many women, because they're like, oh, I don't want to upset him. I don't want to make him upset. He's the only man that I can get. Going back to mindset, okay? Mindset, how they feel about themselves, okay? Men like that, they're very strategic about the type of woman that they go after. They're not looking for a woman that's like, well, that's fine. You don't want me to be a flight attendant. I want to be a flight attendant. Somebody finna be unhappy and it's not going to be me. They don't want a woman like that. They don't want a woman that's like, okay, yeah, well, I'm choosing me. They don't want a woman like that. They want a woman, well, like, okay, I really just don't want to make you upset. Okay, like, I really want to be a flight attendant. I really want to, travel the world. But if that upsets you, I'm like, so sorry. I won't do it. I won't ever do it. I won't go after my dreams. I'll just sit right here on this couch with you, watch TV, become a couch potato, watch my dreams slowly go nowhere. Just because it makes you happy, because I'm afraid of being alone, because I'm afraid that I won't get another man. And there's so many women that have that mentality because a lot of factors, okay? We're going to focus on one. A lot of factors that a lot of factors that come into why women feel that way. What feel that way is how they were raised, okay, their upbringing, okay. How was their mother towards them? How was their father towards them? Was there a mother in the home? Was there a father in the home? Like, what was their upbringing, okay? And sometimes it's not just about their upbringing, because you have people that have come from wonderful backgrounds. They have a wonderful childhood. Parents love them, whether or not they had one parent or both parents in the home. They had a very great environment, and then something happens along the way, maybe in their adult life. They get entangled with the wrong person and they stay too long. They overstay their welcome, because we know when you dating and you in a relationship and you really feel like you in love and you really feel like this person is the one, you will put up with a lot of stuff that you shouldn't put up with. And somewhere along the line, that relationship ripped a hole in them. That relationship tore down their confidence, especially if it was an abusive one where they always were told that they were ugly, they were not beautiful, they're not good enough. And I know people that have gone through that, and it's like it's easy for somebody to be like, oh, well, you should leave that type of situation. You should not be in that type of situation. But however, if you're not in that person's shoes, or you have never been in that person's shoes, it's easy to say what you would and would not do. At the same time, yes, what you do put up with and allow, it will continue to happen in your life. But these are just some factors as to why some women feel, insecure. They feel like they're not good enough, and this is the only person or the only man that they can get, so they settle, okay? Based off of we said two things, based off of their upbringing. How was their childhood? How were both their parents towards them? Were both the parents in the home? Were both the parents there? Was one absent? Did they grow up in a lot of trauma with a lot of abuse? Did they grow up not learning how to protect themselves and set boundaries? And that's another thing too that we're gonna get into, okay? But yeah, how was their upbringing? And then we said another one, number 2, was they could have a great upbringing. They could have a loving, caring home, be in a great environment, and they get to their adult life, and their first relationship that they get into could be an abusive relationship where, they get insulted all the time, or assaulted, like physically and mentally and verbally being torn down, to the point where they start to believe those lies. They start to believe that they are worthless. They start to believe that they don't deserve a person to really love them, that they should just take what they should get. Now, piggybacking, going back to what I said about the third point of dang, I forgot. It was in my head too. It was in my head. Let me take a water break. Okay, I was talking about their upbringing, right? Oh, boundaries. Third one is boundaries. If you were not taught boundaries as a kid, okay? And we're going to get into this series right here. Sally doesn't want to trade anymore. I'm currently working on the second part of the story where we're going to go back to her upbringing, to why she was the way she is in this story in the first place. Boundaries, okay? It's so important for parents to teach their children boundaries. A lot of parents don't want to teach that though, because that means that they can't, manipulate or control their children in the way that they want. But it's so important to teach your child how to have boundaries. I watched my sister with how she is with her kids, right? I don't have kids, but I look at my sister. She's a great example. My nephew, he's 7 years old, and she teaches him how to have boundaries. She said, it's okay if I do something that you don't like, tell me, okay? Tell me what it is that you don't like, and tell me your boundaries, because he has autism, okay? He's autistic. So she's teaching him how to not let people come in his space and just run all over him. The same thing with her other 2 children, her older children. She has another son and another daughter. She teaches them, if I do something that you don't like, it doesn't matter that I'm your mother. That does not give me the right to keep doing that. You tell me what it is in a respectful manner, because we're not teaching them how to be disrespectful. But I like that she teaches them to have boundaries. Why is it important to teach your children to have boundaries within themselves? If somebody does something they don't like, they're not sitting there being passive about it. They're not letting it happen. You ever wonder why you see a lot of these stories where some of these children, they go and they hang out with their friends and they don't come back, or if they do come back, they got beat up or something bad happened? Is because they weren't taught that people do not have a right to your body. They don't have a right to your voice, your mind. They don't have a right to you. And it's sad because a lot of children, if they learned how to say, you're not gonna talk to me that way. You're not gonna pull on me. You're not gonna touch on me. You don't get to do that because we're friends. If a lot of children were taught boundaries in their childhood, they wouldn't grow up to be complying adults in matters that is life or, because you gotta watch what you say on TikTok, okay? Life or, all right? They wouldn't be a willing victim in their demise, whether it unalives them or they get to live to tell the story, but they have to wear the scars, okay? So it's very important to teach children how to have boundaries so they don't get friends that, well, we're friends and I really want this handbag. It's $500. You're practically rich. Your parents are practically rich. Why can't you just swipe the credit card? Because no, I don't have to buy you anything just because you think that you have an entitlement to my money. What happens in a lot of these situations, well, because they don't have boundaries. You're not teaching your kids boundaries, right? Well, yeah, I guess we are friends, but my parents really don't like me just swiping the credit card without asking, well, we're friends or not? Because if you don't swipe that credit card, we can't be friends anymore. They're not in a situation where they're like, oh, okay, well, I have to do it because this person is getting upset and they're angry and, they're not people pleasing. They're like, well, that's you. My mom and dad said, they saying it with their chest. They're looking up. They have confidence. And what they're saying, my mom and dad told me no. And if you don't like that, you can walk on out of this store and lose my number and throw your friendship card back. Give me your friendship card back because you don't deserve that. They'll say that versus, oh, okay, well, I really don't want to lose this friend. And, I'm scared. I don't want to upset them. So I'm going to swipe the card, even though mom and dad told me don't be swiping the card without their permission. Boundaries. Now, how does this pertain to women in dating? Again, I gave you the backstory of what happens as a child when we don't learn how to have boundaries. And most of us come from toxic households where they definitely don't want to teach. They don't want to teach you how to have no boundaries because then the parents can't run over you and control you and manipulate you if they taught you how to have boundaries, right? But this is what happens when you don't have boundaries or you don't learn boundaries as a kid. You grow up in your adult life. You befriend people who are habitual boundary steppers. I call it habitual boundary steppers, okay? Habitual, OBBS, habitual boundary steppers. You befriend people that don't respect your boundaries. You say, don't touch my hair. And people, oh, you're violent, Jasmine. I have had to smack somebody's hand. Okay? I say, don't touch my hair. And they, I'm just going to touch it. Oh, what you hit me for? Didn't I tell you don't touch my hair? That's a boundary. I don't care if you're just being too much. No, I'm not being too much. This is my body. Don't touch me. My hair is a part of my body. Like, I'm not an animal. I'm not you're not petting me. We're not at a zoo. It's like, yeah, stuff like that. When people try to push past the boundaries, I said, don't call me after 10 o'clock tonight. Don't call me. My phone goes off. I'm in bed or I'm doing some meditation. I'm having some me time. Do not call my phone at 10 o'clock. And the dude, he got your number. He decides that he's going to text you at 10 o'clock, blocked. This is what happens when you teach your children or you have been taught proper boundaries. They don't grow up allowing people to overstep their boundaries. You got to set them. You got to set them. This ties into what we're talking about. Can a woman have it all when it comes to her love life, when it comes to her finances, when it comes to her career, when it comes to the type of house she wants to build, whether or not she wants to be a mother or a wife? Can she have it all or does she have to choose? And it starts with her and her boundaries. It starts with how she views herself. Because society is going to always tell you, choose everybody but yourself. Welcome in to the live. We're talking about, can a woman have it all? I'm just breaking down some important factors that contribute to the way someone sees themselves. And I kind of went back into talking about, and it all starts with your upbringing. Sometimes it all starts with how you view yourself. Have you been taught any boundaries? And this is very important when it comes to your love life, when it comes to your job, when it comes to how you get money. Boundaries are very important. Boundaries are very important. Okay. But anyway, let's get back into it. Can a woman have it all? Can she, or does she have to do what society tells her to do and not choose herself, choose everybody else, be miserable while everybody else is happy? Because what we're being told by most people, not everyone, okay? Not everyone is out here telling us it's garbage, but it's mostly a lot of people, okay? Especially a lot of women, okay? Because they've been brainwashed to believe certain things is okay, and then they're manipulative. Some of these women out here, they're manipulative, and they want to use other women to get where they want to go. I'm just keeping it real. It's not just the men, it's the women too. I see it from both sides. But yeah, society will have you believing that it's supposed to be beneficial for you to watch everybody else around you be happy, but you. Watch everybody else live their life the way they want, but you. As a woman, you're not supposed to have it all. You're not supposed to have a career. You're not supposed to have any money. You're not supposed to have an opinion. You're not supposed to live life on your terms. You can't have love, okay, unless you're benefiting the other person. You can't have a nice car. You can't have a nice house. You can't do what makes you happy. Your only things that you're limited to doing is being a mother and a wife or a girlfriend and making everybody else happy. And when you start to make yourself happy, you are failing in life. You are not a woman. You are not a real woman if you start to do what makes you happy. You want to throw that man out of your house because he's sitting up there laying up, not helping you take care of the home. He don't do anything but get on that damn video game and play whatever that damn game is, the NBA basketball game. I think it's Y2K, something like that, whatever. Y'all know what I'm talking. NBA Live, whatever. Yeah, NBA Live. You want to get on there and play the fighting games or whatever while you working hard, going to work. Okay, you want to be able to drive your car, and the moment you decide this is not the life that I signed up for, this is not what I want. I don't want a little kid in my home. This is a grown ass man, okay, mind you, washing his ass with my crisp, clean water that I pay for. He don't pay for nothing. He don't pay for shit in his house. Okay, I'm deciding that this is not what I want, so I'm gonna have to get rid of him. And the moment you say you want to upgrade, change something, because let me tell y'all something, people like to make us feel bad for making mistakes and putting up with stuff that we shouldn't have put up with. For as long as we put up with it, it don't matter. When you have your coming to Christ moment, I call it coming to Christ moment. When you have your awakening moment, that's what it is, coming to Christ. When you wake up and you realize this is not the life you want, this is not the person you want to be with, you are no longer going to put up with the games and the lies. What people like to try to do is, you were an idiot. You stayed for too long. You stayed for this. Forget all that. Forget all that. I know it's not easy, but you got to find a way to forget all that. You got to find a way to ignore people, okay? You got to stop allowing people to make you feel bad, okay? You don't have time. You don't have time to do that, okay? You're going to get up, move accordingly, keep your mouth closed, don't talk to everybody, be quiet, okay? Do what you need to do to get your situation approved so you can move on with your life. But you don't have time to allow people to make you feel bad, okay? As long as you get the memo, as long as you get the picture, as long as you understand, I made a mistake. I shouldn't have stayed too long. I shouldn't have did. You don't have time for that. Acknowledge that you're taking accountability. That's all I want you to do. That's what I want y'all to do. Y'all ladies, this is what y'all want y'all to do going forward, okay? Acknowledge that you're taking accountability for what you allowed. Don't worry about everybody else and, oh, well, you're dumb. You stayed for 20 years, 15 years, 12 years, 10 years, 5 years, 0 years, whatever. Take care of business so you can heal, do the healing, do the inner work, do the shadow work so you can move on. It don't matter. But as soon as you decide, I'm not doing this anymore, I'm not putting up with this man, He's getting out of my house. You're a bitch, you're a hoe, you're a slut, you're everything. These are manipulation tactics. I'm not saying it's easy to say, okay, whatever, because it hurts. Especially if you're attached to the person, you've been with them for a long time, depending on the situation, because some situations do turn violent and, deadly. Some situations do turn violent, unfortunately. So it's not easy for everybody to just pack up and pick up and leave, okay? Especially you got somebody that don't care about restraining orders. They don't care about the law. They when they want to they want to keep bothering you, harassing you, doing crazy things to you, they will do it, okay? So I'm not going to sit there and say it's easy, okay? Depending on the situation, you got to be very smart how you maneuver. You got to almost plan your escape, okay? But if you are not in that type of situation and you're able to, okay, move accordingly, still keeping your mouth shut. Don't allow the manipulation tactics to, oh, now you want to put me out. Oh, I haven't I been there for you? Yeah, you've been here for me, all right. You've been eating up my food. You're not paying any bills. You've been running up my light bill, running up my water bill, my electric bill. You got to go. You can no longer have access to me or my resources, okay? You can't have access to me or my resources. And I'm here to tell y'all, okay? I'm here to tell y'all, it's okay to have second thoughts. It's okay to be afraid. It's okay to stand up for yourself. And in the process of standing up for yourself, you're not sure, you're afraid, but do it anyway, okay? Do it anyway. Do it anyway, because you have got to learn how to stop abandoning yourself, okay? In this ebook, in this story, Sally abandons everything that makes her great because she wants to be in love so bad. You should never want to be in love so bad that you abandon yourself and your happiness, that you forget what it is that you want in life. You can do that while loving somebody else. You don't have to choose one, okay? And that's what we're talking about in this live topic on TikTok. I'm gonna post this on my YouTube. I always post all my lives on my YouTube channel. You can follow me under the same handle, Jazz Work From Home. But yeah, you got people that are gonna get mad at you when you say enough is enough. Enough is enough. I don't have to deal with this. You're gonna be everything but a child of God. You're gonna be whatever it is that they want to name you, and that's okay. That's okay. Let me tell you something. That is okay. Because you're not living your life to get other people's approval. You're not living your life to make other people happy. You're not responsible for somebody else's happiness. And that's the second part of what we're talking about. Can a woman have it all? A lot of us women think that we have to be responsible for somebody else's happiness. That we have to neglect our self-care and neglect our own happiness just to make somebody else happy. Every man is responsible for his own destiny, man or woman. Everybody is responsible for their own happiness. Everybody is responsible for their own happiness. You're not responsible for a person's peace, happiness, or well-being. You're not. You're not. I see so many men and women get in a relationship. Oh, be my peace, be my happiness, no. I'm not going to be your peace. I'm not going to be your happiness. I'm not going to cause destruction towards you. But at the same time, I'm not going to be responsible for your happiness. Only you can decide what makes you happy, okay? Only you can decide what level of peace that you want within you. Because let me tell you something. A woman, this is where we got to stop taking on so much. Stop trying to take on the world. This is how a lot of women are getting up on out of here. They're having heart attacks, strokes. They're going to sleep and not waking up because they're tired. They have a lot of stress from trying to take care of everybody else. Okay? It's not your responsibility because a woman can cook, she can clean, she can be feminine, she can be submissive. If the person is not happy within themselves, it's not going to matter what she's doing. She could be submissive, obedient, don't raise her voice, speak softly, if a person does not have peace within themselves, they're just going to find something to argue about. They're just going to find something to get upset about. They're just going to find something that's not there, and they're going to make it be there. So it's not about being somebody else's peace. It's not about being somebody else's happiness. There's a lot of women that think that they can make a man happy, and they end up making themselves unhappy because that's where the boundary part come in, man. This is where the boundaries come in. Welcome into the room. Welcome into the live. This is where the boundaries come in. Anybody that's getting upset with you because they're unhappy. I once dated a man. It didn't matter what I did, no matter what I said, he was unhappy. And I had to learn that ain't got nothing to do with you, Jazz. I left him and went on about my business. Don't got nothing to do with you. He's unhappy because of him. And a lot of times when people don't have any peace or they're unhappy, they try to project their unhappiness onto you. They try to project how they feel about themselves onto you. And that's what he would do. Oh, he was unhappy. He gained weight. So here he is trying to talk about me and my weight. He's not making any money. He's broke. Got 10 kids by 5 different women. And here he is trying to project that onto me because I don't have kids, but I'm getting to the bag. I'm getting money. I don't owe no child support, nothing. Like, not making fun of him. It's just a reality. He's trying to project that onto me. Sorry. Sorry, Charlie. That's you. That's your life. I don't have your life. I don't want your life. Instead of just, saying, you know what? I'm the one who created this mess, because people don't want to take accountability. Accountability goes hand in hand. He didn't want to take accountability for the mess and the broken homes that he created. And he wanted to find other women to blame that on and put the blame on and try to use them to get up, and he still would end up in the same situation that he was in. And so I left him alone. I was like, I'm not responsible for your happiness. I'm not going to be responsible for your happiness or your peace. You're not going to talk to me any kind of way. You're not going to treat me any kind of way. I do not have to choose between my peace and helping you find peace. That's not my job. You need a therapist. You need a psychologist. You know what you need? You probably need to be in a psych ward. Yeah, and he was violent. And he was violent. Yeah, you probably need to be in a psych ward. You need a therapist. You don't need me. I can't help you. And that's where you got to start, ladies. That's where you got to start being real with yourself. You got to stop taking everything personal. People come and go in life. This is where you have to learn how to have boundaries and self-love. Let's get into the self-love part, okay? Because this is something that she doesn't have. Sally is one of those women. They have lots of, glitter and gold, shiny things, but they have no self-love. They have no self-love. Sally didn't have any self-love. And women like Sally, because I've been there before too. When you don't have any self-love, you're going to stay in situations that you shouldn't be staying in for too long. You're going to love other people more than you love yourself. And you should never love anyone more than you love yourself, okay? And even on the flip side with a man should not love a woman more than he loves himself. I'm sorry, a lot of people want to disagree with that. No, he should be obsessed with you. You don't want no man or no woman being obsessed with you, okay? That's how people end up in the graveyard. That's how people end up on the run, running from a okay? And I got some crazy stories, that I'm going to start sharing with y'all. Self-love is very important. Self-love is what helps you protect yourself and keep those boundaries that I was talking about in the beginning of this live, okay, of this TikTok live. Self-love, how do you view yourself? When you look in that mirror, how do you feel about yourself? It doesn't matter how everybody else feels about you, okay? We're not going to make this about other people, okay? I never want to make it be about other people. How do you feel when you look in that mirror? How do you feel when you look in that mirror and you talk to you? How do you talk to yourself? Doesn't matter who didn't like your picture on social media. Doesn't matter who didn't like your shoes when you went out into the world. Doesn't matter that your coworker can't stand you. They picking at you about your hair, your skin color, or, your weight or whatever, or your features. It don't matter. What do you feel about yourself? Because how you feel about yourself is going to dictate why you show up the way you show up. How do you feel about yourself? If you don't like nothing about yourself, you don't like looking at yourself in the mirror, you don't have nothing positive to say about yourself, I need you. I need you to go and find the root cause of that. I need you to figure out why you don't like yourself. You don't talk to yourself nicely. You don't care for yourself. You are waiting for somebody else to do that. And see, in this story, Sally, she does that. She waiting for somebody else to come along and say, I love you, Sally. Sally, you're beautiful. I just want to do, there's nobody coming to save you. In the words of Derek Grace, too, he's an influencer on Instagram and on YouTube. In his words, nobody's coming to save you. Ladies, nobody's coming to save you when it comes to self-love. Get over it. There is, and there's lots of stories, and I get it. There's lots of stories of women. Oh, my husband, I met him at a time in my life where I hated myself, and oh my God, I just wanted to end it all, and he loved me through it. Okay, let's be realistic. Let's live in reality. I'm not saying that stuff doesn't exist, but you don't need to be waiting for somebody to come find you in a corner and say, hey, nobody puts baby in a corner, and take you out the corner and dance with you in the middle of the dance floor, and you can have the time of your life. You need to have that before. You need to love yourself before someone tells you that. Okay? And I get it. It could be hard depending on your upbringing, depending on what you've been through in life, what kind of friends you've had, what type of men you have dated, how you view yourself. Whatever happened in the way to which you viewed yourself in a negative manner, you have to go back to that and fix it. And I'm not saying it's easy, but you have to fix it. You cannot have a healthy relationship with everybody else and not have a healthy relationship within yourself. That don't even make any sense. And so many women try to do it. So many women try to have a healthy relationship with everybody else, and they don't have a healthy relationship within themselves. Make it make sense. You want a man to tell you he loves you, you're beautiful, but he could tell you that all day. But if you don't believe that, what's the point of him even saying it? Not that you need to be waiting for somebody to tell you you're beautiful. You should tell yourself you're beautiful. You know how many men tell me, oh, you're beautiful, you dope as hell, Jasmine. Oh, okay, that's nice. I know that. Oh, why are you so cocky? I'm not being cocky. I'm not finna sit there. Oh, I do say, okay, thank you. I'm not rude, but I'm not like, oh my God, somebody told me that I was beautiful today, that I'm dope. Oh my God, that just made me feel so great. Like, no, you have to know these things within yourself already. You have to know that you are that woman. You have to know that you are beautiful, that you're cool. You have to be that to yourself. Everything, let me tell you something. And I was talking to my ex coworker, okay? We both used to work in trucking. Okay, she's still in trucking. I'm out of trucking. I hurt my back. That's a story for a later time. I hurt my back. I'm out of trucking. I'm done with trucking. No more trucking for me. But it was so amazing how we were sitting down in the driver's lounge and we were having a girl-to-girl conversation. She was like, my grandmother. I used to tell my grandmother, I want a man. I want this. And my grandmother told me, everything that you're looking for a man to do within whatever it is that you want, can you do those things for yourself? And ever since then, that conversation has stuck with me. I'm like, no, that's right. We want men to be able to do certain things like take care of us and, provide a home and, take care of us and, love on us and splurge on us, which is things that are cool. Okay. But the question becomes, can you do those things for yourself? Even if you're not with a man that does that. Even if you're not with a man right now, can you love yourself? Can you splurge on yourself? Can you take care of yourself? Can you have a self-care day for yourself? Can you have a spa day or self-maintenance? What I feel like self-maintenance this is self-maintenance. Keeping your hair up. I got to get my nails done pretty soon again. Keeping your nails up. For me, that's not self-care. That's self-maintenance. Self-care is what's going on with you mentally. Are you taking care of your physical health? Taking care of your lady parts and stuff like that. You're going to your doctor's appointment. How do you feel emotionally, physically, and mentally? That's self-care to me. What are you doing to unwind from stress? Because like I told y'all at the beginning of this TikTok live, a lot of women are being unalived by stress, having strokes and heart attacks. They're going to the hospital because they're not taking care of themselves. Self-care is more than just getting your hair and your nails done and putting on a bunch of makeup, which is cool. You know, this is stuff like this is cool. Okay. But I call this is self-maintenance. What are you doing for your self-care? That's another thing, that self-love is self-care. How do you care for yourself? If someone say, girl, come on, let's go have a spa day. Let's go meditate. Let's go make sure our mental health is all right. That's okay. I don't need that. Why would I need that? The world is ending in 5 days. Oh my God. I just want to jump off the nearest bridge. That's not that's not okay. That you feel like that about yourself. That's not okay. You got to change that. No one can make you change that but you. You know, you got friends that, hey man, you need to come outside the house. Like stop. We need to stop. We need to see how we can get you to stop being depressed. Like, or your family members. Like, this ain't cool. How are you taking care of yourself? How are you showing up for yourself? How are you showing up for yourself? Period. Sorry, I'm just reading something. They told me I have a violation or whatever. TikTok be doing too much. I have a violation because I'm talking about mental, making sure you're good up here, but whatever. I'm gonna keep. I'm gonna keep going. They tell me something. I'm not gonna be visible for 10 minutes. That's fine. It's still recording me, and we're gonna put this on YouTube. Whatever. It's always when you talk. It's always when you're talking about good stuff, y'all. You trying to help people. You're not on here shaking your ass. You're not on here talking about scamming and hey, cash at me $500 if you want me to pull up and show you my. It's crazy. It's crazy. Social media is whack sometimes. But anyway, we're gonna keep going on. We're gonna let that stop us. We just not visible for 10 minutes. Whatever. I'm good. It's gonna be okay. So let me see what time it is. It is okay, 10 minutes. Let's keep going. But yeah, y'all gotta make sure you're doing all right upstairs. We gotta say that. God, I forgot. You gotta be careful what you say. You gotta make sure you're doing all right upstairs. That's part of self-love. Somebody that really loves, let me tell you something. Why they don't want you to focus on self-love. They want you to focus on being a pick-me-sha, putting everybody, your friends, your family, your man before yourself. They don't want you taking care of yourself, because if you start taking care of yourself and you start loving on yourself, you are not going to do anything that's going to make you feel bad. You are not going to put other people and things, a job. You're not going to put a job that don't care about you before yourself. You're not going to put a job that don't care about you before your health. You're not going to put a man before your health. You're not going to put a friend before your health. You're not going to put a family member before your health. You're going to be like, oh, yep, I hear what you're saying, but yeah, I don't care. I don't care what makes you happy. I care what makes me happy. No, be selfish. I'm telling you, be selfish. It's all right. Stop letting people make you feel like you have to just answer their every call and you just have to put a beeper on, and every time they paid you, you have to answer. You have to do all these things. Just saying. You have to. Let's see what that is right there. Okay, sorry. Something came up on my screen and it just went away. Whatever. I'm on TikTok, y'all. If you watching this from my YouTube, I'm not crazy, I promise. I'm on my TikTok. But anyway, you have to put yourself first. It's okay. Especially in situations where people try to manipulate you and make you feel like you're wrong. Because they can't get over on you, or they can't use you, or maybe they have been getting over on you. Maybe they have been using you, but you said, you know what, I'm gonna put an end to it. It's okay. You don't have to explain yourself. Here's another thing. We're finna get into it. Can a woman have it all? Well, what do these things have to do with a woman having it all, Jasmine? What is it? It has a lot to do with it. Follow me. Only the real people that they know. If you know, you know. Can a woman have it all? Okay. Can a woman have it all? What does that mean? Everything that I've been talking about pertains to a woman having it all, because you have to have boundaries. You have to allow, you have to understand that people will try to manipulate you when they can't use you and get your resources. When you want to put you first, you want to love on you, because we're recapping, right? This has a lot to do with it. Everything that I've been talking about has a lot to do with it. You can't expect to have it all. The career, a good man, if you have children, you want to be a wife, a mother, you want to climb the corporate ladder, or you want to be an entrepreneur, you want to buy a house, you want to become a millionaire, whatever it is. You might want to be a flight attendant, you might want to be a CEO of your own company, you might want to be go back to nursing school, you might want to do nails, you might want to do hair, whatever it is you want to do. You can't do those things without having self-love and self-care. Boundaries. Being able to put yourself first and stop allowing people to make you feel like you're doing something wrong. You can't have none of that. You can't allow people to come in and easily be able to persuade you to stop caring for yourself so they can get over on you and abuse you. Because a woman can truly have it all. But you have to have it all up here, all together up here, okay? Because there's some really good people in this world, and then there's some terrible people in this world too. Really good people in this world, and some terrible people within this world. So we better do part 2, okay? We finna do part 2. I'm finna come back and do part 2 of this, all right? I'm gonna upload this video on my YouTube. I'm gonna see y'all in part 2.